And we are back after 2 weeks
Oof,
because Joe 1 week has school shit.
I was gone.
Me and Armin needed it last week, but him and Shay were doing some shit on the Thursday or Friday whenever I was going to do it.
Just
And Tristan was nowhere, so it's kind of like, oh, fuck it, we miss a week
just bad
again.
scheduling all around
Yeah,
October.
it
It
was
always feels that way.
really unfortunate at that point.
We're gonna
But
try harder.
yeah,
So.
we're finally back. I would have done it myself, but no, who the fuck's going to want to listen to me for an hour, man? But,
I mean, there's some people who probably might. There's some people who probably won't, but that's the nature of the
no,
internet.
I wouldn't expect anyone to listen to me.
It's
But
the
yeah,
internet.
thank you to all the insanely generous people on Patreon
Appreciate it.
who have been on screen as I've been waffling on. Joe can do housekeeping.
I was about to say, who are we?
I'm
We're
going to peg it up.
I was about to say
Peg
we're
it
Mitch
up.
and Joe on Twitter, halftime Joe, Mitch692. Um, but yeah, patreon.com/comicbookcast. I've started to use Discord again, so there is that. Like, I wonder if people actually like ask, like, "Hey, you said Discord, right? What's the Discord?" Well, if you just went to Twitter or Facebook, like, it's just right there pinned.
It literally is just right there.
Yeah,
I only
it's-
pawned that off on Joe because I was about to cough, so
Yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
big.
I just
uh,
went back in Discord because I got more time now. I have a month of school left, probably
You
less
say
than
you
that.
went back. You looked at it once.
No, I'm sorry. I go back on it now. I just I say
Okay,
Discord
okay.
altogether because not just our CBC thing, but Discord altogether because I have one with some other friends and one.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, what are the names that I've started calling people? But I can't answer that
There's a guy
question.
named Bumblebee.
I said, girl, Joe, that's really
Girl, I I can't tell the difference, but there's a person. You know, I had off side note, right quick.
You
I had
shouldn't assume everyone's a guy, Joe. That's sexist.
side note. We had this thing in class, right, where we're talking. We had to talk about a question of a transgender girl would like to join the wrestling team, right? And I just felt uncomfortable trying to say if they were a girl or a guy because I don't know. Like I just won't say it, so I say they because I don't know, you know. So that's just
See
me.
that's the safe bet. That's what I would have done. It's kind
Yeah,
of like, well, which one? I don't know which one you go by.
we're all
Uh,
for it, you know, LGBTQ. We're all for it, but I just sometimes I don't know. So let me know.
it's
You
a
know,
si-
let me know.
it's a situation that's easily avoided by just calling someone they.
Or their name.
Literally, you can't be offended by
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
If you do get offended by that, then you might have a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Just let me know. If you gotta make me look stupid, just make me look stupid. Just let me know what's up. You know, so
Um,
alright. But yeah, that's pretty much housekeeping. Patreon.com/comicbookcast. Discord is all there. We're doing everything on all the social medias, but it's everywhere. Like you can like I said, just Google us.
Google us.
Google us.
Google.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we have kind of a light week. He
I,
says extremely sarcastically.
there's some good
Um,
comics though.
There's some very good comics. I had a lot of comics were quite tense for me this week.
Really.
Like, a lot of tense things happened. It's just like fuck.
I, I get what
Nice
you mean.
relaxing Wednesday, and I get like fucking bombarded. But yeah. To start off, a brand new bit of news. I believe we're going in this
Just
order.
recent, yeah,
Literally just dropped in the last hour
pretty
as we're
much.
recording this.
That's how we do it.
Tom Taylor is doing a brand new X-Men book called X-Men Red, which drops in February of 2018.
Now you're gonna get all the gangs back for the red and blue. Which do you know
Yeah.
that? You know that reference?
Oh yeah, it's the Crips and
Blood.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Okay, just make sure. Because I don't know if they had that in the UK.
Well, they don't, but I think everyone on the fucking planet.
All right, just
does.
making sure, guys. Just making sure. I don't. A guy from New Zealand might not know who the Crips and Bloods are. Or actually,
Plus,
yeah.
I mean, like the red versus blue goes back long before that.
I
It's always
mean
been
Halo. Uh, there's Halo too.
I mean,
So.
there's the Halo machinery. Yeah, but,
Yeah. But you know, Tom Taylor, great. He's always
great
great.
writer. It
Uh,
wasn't what I was expecting. To be fair, he announced he was doing, or he announced his new book would be announced this week, and it's just like, well, what are you going to be doing?
But
It's like, is he going to pick up the slack from other books that have been abandoned this week? It was a possibility. Apparently, no, he's doing a brand new X-Men book.
I just love that it's being led by Jean Grey, you know, and now she's in her Phoenix
Yeah.
form, right? Or no?
Well, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's coming out of Phoenix Resurrection.
So I'd assume
so-
she's in her Phoenix form. She looks like she's in her Phoenix form.
I'd assume so because you look at the promo art and she has got the flames. Her suit looks a bit shit. to be honest.
Really?
And it looks too bulky. It looks too 90s, like shoulder pads. Not a fan.
Okay, the shoulder pads I can deal with, but
Then
like
again,
everything else I'm okay with.
I was never really a fan of that kind of costume for Jean Grey. It always looked weird to me.
To be fair, it is actually the 90s because I'm looking at like the YouTube video and it has a recommendation and it has the 90s like thumbnail and it's exactly the same thing. So yeah, it's pretty much 90s.
But it's got the shoulder pads, which is different, isn't it?
A little bit probably. Probably it doesn't have the X on the shoulder pads like in the 90s. But yeah. I didn't expect red, blue, and gold to happen in a sense because that street difference. I would say that might be extending too much, but it's the X-Men, and I don't think you can extend too much with the X-Men because there's so many characters. You can?
You can. This is now the what?
A lot of books.
It's the third new X book they've announced. Because you've got Legion, which admittedly is a mini-series. You've got Rogue and Gambit, which admittedly again is a mini-series. But, you know, it's...
You remember when people thought Marvel was getting rid of the X-Men comics?
Oh, yeah, they're killing them off. Yeah.
There's no more X-Men comics, guys. Now there's probably...
Did that turn out for you?
There's 10 or more, probably.
Oh, there was 10 with Resurrection.
Now there's probably more. Wait,
there's probably like 15 now.
Yeah, it's
but then again, like I don't know how long Iceman's going to last. If it's going to last past the second arc, I don't know what's going on with the other team books because I know Blue's going to stick around because Blue's getting the team shake up after the Venom crossover. I don't know what's happening with Gold.
Yeah,
a Gold probably could be sticking on,
but you know this is the thing I always have said on this cast about comics, and it's how long will it go? How long does it need to go? Because you talked about the Iceman comic, right? And does it need to go on for more than 20 issues, or is 6 issues good enough, or is 12 issues good enough? It's one of those things where it's great that you know all these comics come out of an event, but I always feel there's only a certain amount of time until people stop caring about them. So that's why I feel like they should always be most of them should be miniseries, with probably like the main 3 be ongoing, because people only really care for a certain amount of time. I don't want to impose on people on like real life situations, but when you look at stuff that happens, right, there's always something happening in the real world, such as comics. There's always something happening, and people will only care about this pocket of it for a certain amount of time, and then they move on to the next big thing that's...
Well, you say that, it's the X-Men, and people will literally cry about the X-Men forever.
It's true, but that's that section of them, I would say, that will probably keep championing. But I'm talking about like kind of the general type of people. I always feel like to capitalize on it, have them, most of them be miniseries, and have it be like out of an event, there's another kind of mini event where like these spin-offs are there, but then they will end eventually, and it'll just, I don't know, that's just me, because it's a hard question of like how long does it need to go. It's a very difficult question to answer.
Well, here's the thing, like why do you need to ask that question?
Because I just feel like people won't care after, and I feel like...
Yeah, but is that the point of comics?
I guess not.
No, if the story's good, who cares how long it goes on for?
I guess the point of comics is that there's so many, so everybody has their own. You know what I mean?
You know, like let's look at Ultimate Spider-Man. That started in 2001, and it's kind of, admittedly, it's still technically kind of going now. It's not really. No, it lasted 13 years. In theory, maybe 14, something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
did that need to be a miniseries, or was that going too long?
Yeah, you are right in that sense, though. But I don't know. It's just
action comics and detective comics.
Well, there's a line I drawn there. I say like an Iceman, right?
Bias,
like an Iceman.
Bias.
No. Okay, so let's think of. I'm trying to think what came out of.
I get what you mean, like
the smaller ones.
Like the smaller characters that aren't the big names.
Yeah. Like a Superwoman, right? For when it came out of Rebirth. Or that one, it honestly, it kind of fell off on its own already because like I just thought it tried too much to tie into everything else. Huh?
Haven't they cancelled it now?
Yeah, but I'm just saying like it probably should have already ended, not necessarily have to get canceled. It should have ended with a certain story about Lois Lane as Superwoman. But, you know, to each his own. And I'm just more on the whole capitalizing it and making it matter, because it probably will matter to a section of people who probably like still love the X-Men, will read them, even though the majority won't. But I like capitalizing and making the general public care, because then it kind of seems like it matters. But it's a question that I will always keep asking. I think personally, at least, of like how long it needs to go. But you're right. Yeah.
But back to the actual topic at hand. There is literally no other news.
Well, that's why we kept going, because there's really no other news about this. You're probably like, come on, guys, tell us what else about X-Men, right?
It's like, but who's on the team? It's just like, oh, there's Jean. Yeah. She's a team unto herself.
They had a trailer for it, and it's kind of when Jean Grey through the years. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Which I was never a fan of Jean Grey before. I've kind of become a fan of Jean Grey.
I've always thought the Phoenix stuff was cool.
Yeah,
like I mean, that aspect of it.
The Phoenix stuff was cool, but it's just kind of never. I think it's because of the young Jean Grey book. I really kind of gravitated.
I got you. Yeah. But,
this is good. I say hopefully it's good. It's Tom Taylor. It's not good.
I agree.
Superior Iron Man was amazing. And Injustice. Is he does Injustice?
Yeah, Tom Taylor.
I always get Tom Taylor and Jason Aaron confused.
No, totally understandable.
I don't know why. There's just something about them that I don't know.
What if they just look nothing alike?
They don't look anything alike.
I don't think I've seen Jason Aaron, to be honest. So I think I remember a little bit of Tom Taylor.
Jason Aaron used to be a really beardy motherfucker, bald and massive beard. I don't think Tom Taylor's bald and massive beard.
Well, to be honest, the only person I've seen more of is Jeff Johns, just because it's Jeff Johns and he's my hero. But he's always in the forefront, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of writers don't necessarily love to be, like, camera face, have the camera in their face all the time. It seems like they just want to do their work.
Every writer would love to be that prolific.
But they're not all.
But I don't think, it's the baggage that comes with it. It's kind of like, well, do I want that, do I not?
It's like, I recently was listening to a podcast with one of my favorite sports writers, and he did it with Miles Teller, and Miles Teller said, I love acting, I just don't love talking to people about my acting. I was like, okay, I get it. Like, you just want to do your work and go home.
Yeah. It's like, if I was an actor, I couldn't watch my own movies. I find it so awkward.
And I constantly, having to talk about certain things, I just want to do more stuff. Like, I don't want to sit here talking about it. I just want to go out do more. You know what I mean? I get it. They're in the game so long. They want to keep doing the game. Yeah. So.
They want to push back the media.
Because the media.
And speaking of pushing back things,
go ahead.
DC have pushed back the new age of heroes in print.
Yeah, because it used to be called
your sideways and your damages or whatever it's called.
No, well, yeah. So it used to be called Dark Matter, which was gonna be the thing spinning off of Dark Knight's Metal, which was gonna be the whole bunch of these people either get power from what happens in the Dark Multiverse, or some of these come out of the Dark Multiverse, stuff like that. But pushed back to 2018. So it says that a bunch of them are gonna be pushed back at least 3 months, is what it says. So I think the first one, which is Immortal Men by James Tynion, and Jim Lee, James Tynion, Detective Comics, March 14th. So that's what it says.
What they're doing is they kind of thought for a second. They went, oh, hang on a minute, Dark Knight's Metal finishes in February.
That's what exactly I thought.
Why are we releasing everything sooner than this finishes? Let's not do the thing that everyone complains about over in Marvel that no one complained about us doing here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I didn't think of it before, but then when I think about it now, it's like, yeah, it's like they were gonna bring it out before Metal finished. Wouldn't it make sense for after Metal to finish? And
it would have been a long time before Metal finished as well.
2 months. So 2 months can be a lot. So
I mean, sure, so it's 2 issues, but 2 months in the grand scheme of things is a long time. Especially with the amount of books they have. That's a lot of books to come out. In 2 months.
That's pretty much it. That all of them were pretty good at 3 months. Like, essentially a month after Metal finishes, which makes sense, as we both stated. Not much else. It's just that, okay, that's cool. I'm looking forward to some of these titles. I'm just not looking forward. The one I keep saying I'm not looking forward to is the one that's low key the Punisher, but a female version, and I'm just like, it doesn't look.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, this is kind of like DC's Marvel character.
But it's also John Romita Jr., which is probably why I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not a fan of
Jim Lee
Reboot.
and the Immortal Man looks good, and like I looking forward to Damage, because to me like it seems cool, but it
I'm not a fan of the Hulk, and
yeah.
it damages literally just Hulk. It's no.
um,
Sideways looks cool, but then again, it's got Rockefeller on it, and I got like a massive Rockefeller.
Sideways is the Blue Beetle one, is what I keep assuming, right?
Yeah, it's the Blue Beetle Spider-Man.
Well, we say that just because it's gonna be the teenager, and he just realized a really cool costume.
He has got a really fucking cool costume,
Yeah.
and Rockefeller just makes it.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm curious. Well, we'll talk about it later, but like,
I don't even know who's writing Sideway.
Dan DiDio, which is kind of like
weird.
weird, but I'm all because I'm more. I'm with you. I'm like, all right, the artist will probably pick it up because I need good art. I think
You can't have like horrific art. I mean, it depends on the context of the book. Like, you got everyone crying their eyes out about a book they don't read that's for kids, like Squirrel Girl, going, "Oh, this art's terrible." It's like, yeah, but it's a kid's book. It's okay to look like that because it's in the context of a kid's book.
So one thing is like going back to the whole like I just this whole Miles Teller interview like with Bill Simmons, one of my favorite sports writers, just like in my head now because I just listened to it yesterday. I think he said Kevin Costner said it, or someone said it in the acting community, and it was a big actor. And he said you can make a bad script out of a good script, but you can't make, or you can make a bad movie out of a good script, but you can't make a good movie out of a bad script. So for me, in the comics wise, I think you can make a good comic. Or you can make a good and bad comic out of good art, but you can't make a good comic out of bad art. You know what I mean? So if it just has bad art, I don't care how good the writing is.
I don't know how good. I don't know how true that is. I mean, admittedly, yes, there have been books where Generation X that came out recently. Yeah. I couldn't read it because it was horrific.
Yeah.
Just to look at, it was awful. But it wasn't a bad book. Like, the writing was good. I just couldn't bear to look at it.
Well, that's the thing about reading it. You have to look at it, right? And
yeah, but it's different. You're saying that you can't make a good comic with bad art. Is that what you can? Because the writing's good.
No, or at least for me personally, like if I'm reading a comic, if it has bad art, I don't think it's going to be that great because I just can't read it. And if I can't read it, I can't think it's great. I can't think it's bad either, but I also just can't think it's great because I can't read it. So,
admittedly, I just Generation X is trash because of the art,
but like John Romita Jr. really took me off of some of the Superman that he did, and I remember somebody
he just can't. He's like an 8-year-old. I think he can.
I just feel bad because
stiff.
Well, our guy Dan Abnett is writing silence, and I'm a fan of Dan Abnett, and he wrote like the Aquaman, or he's writing Aquaman, but I remember specifically like issue 3, might have been 3 or 4, 3 I think. Really terrible art. I just could not get through it, and it was Dan Abnett. I was like, oh, terrible. But
I mean, admittedly, the Guardians, the DNA Guardians run, the art wasn't great. Yeah. Some places it was really bad, but if you read it,
all right,
it's a great run.
I think that's pretty much it for this type of.
Yeah,
there wasn't too much to.
Moving on now. Avengers No Surrender brings back Bruce Banner. Or is going to be bringing back Bruce Banner. And spoilers, it's in March, just in time for Infinity War.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that.
Like as a movie.
Yeah, so Axel Alonso, I think the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, right? He came out and like he tweeted a picture of No Surrender. You see Bruce Banner's Hulk. And he's about to say something, so it's like, okay, they're bringing it back. He's finally coming back because he technically came back for Generations and that one thing, but
he's been back twice.
Yeah, technically.
Before. He literally came back like the same month in Uncanny Avengers.
Yeah. I guess officially he'll be back beginning January 10th. Is what it says.
Is it? No, it's March.
What is it? Oh, well, maybe No Surrender is beginning January 10th, 2018. Which I'm actually excited for. Like, I'm really generally, like, I was going to go to you to help me of, like, all right, which ones should I be reading to go up to that? Should I just be reading all the Avengers books? To be honest,
I'd recommend Uncanny and USA Avengers
Oh,
just on their own because they are just good.
good.
Like, if you want to get admittedly, Uncanny would be a longer series to read. You probably could just pick it up with Zub's run, which is
Yeah,
only a couple of issues. USA Avengers is only going to be 12 issues by the time that comes out, I think. So it's not really that much. Um,
and the regular.
I wouldn't say you'd have to read Wade's Avengers run.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
if that you'd have to, but definitely Uncanny and US. I say to read.
Like when Secret Empire was starting, you would say like which ones I should read. Cap, Steve Rogers was the main one I should read. I did. Great. So this is like the one that's. It just seems cool to me. I don't know, like no surrender, like the whole aspect of bringing all
It
the different
looks
Avengers.
like it looks good, to be honest. I don't see why anyone would be worrying about it.
It,
Like, it looks fine. Like, especially if you read all three of the Avengers runs. Like, yes, you can get the case of there's too many cooks in the kitchen, but I don't know.
what
Like,
real quick for the people who don't know too much about No Surrender or want to read it, but they're like, what's the elevator pitch for it? What's like the one you tell them you should like? This is what it's about, and you should read it. Like, you ain't got a minute.
oh, we don't really know that.
Well,
I don't know.
what do you know of
Well,
now?
well, what we know now is the Avengers, like the Earth gets stolen. The Earth is taken away from where
Sounds
it
cool to me.
is, and like you get Captain Marvel still in space and all that, but all the Avengers currently on Earth having to come together because there is no surrender.
That just
We
sounds
don't
cool to me.
we don't know anything. Like, if I was on the team, I could give you a
No, but
better
that's
pitch.
the elevator pitch of like the Earth gets stolen
Yeah,
and the
but
all.
here's the thing. Like, the elevated pitches, what's happening. I don't know what's happening really. I just know how they're trying to sell it,
Oh, it is
and
gonna feature Voyager.
we'd have no idea who Voyager is,
Yeah,
apart
I'm just
from
saying like it's gonna feature that new
apparently a
character that they
fictional
kind
story.
of like retconned in a way.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna be retconning it. Well, actually, no, I suppose she's already retconned in because of Legacy.
Yeah, I was like at the very. You even like told me when I said I didn't get this panel. You said just look at it. You're like I don't know. There's something.
So many people miss that. It's like, how do you not recognize the Avengers statue is different? Like,
I
everyone knows the founding Avengers statue.
yeah. So, but then I saw it when I saw it, and I was like, it seems like there might be something. And then you said like you kept telling me there's something different. I was like looking for it. I said I don't know. It looks similar, but it's not. And
It's
then
just like there's like a seventh member.
yeah,
It's so
but that was the thing about it. That was in the
so
actual comic of like Jarvis, I think, saying right that everything looks so similar, but it's not.
yeah, it was Jarvis and Nadia. Yeah.
Yeah, so
But yeah, so yeah, by
I,
the end of that,
is,
Bruce Banner will be back. I imagine.
isn't it
How, we don't
crazy
know.
though that apparently they've written all 16 parts anyways? I mean,
Oh,
already.
it's not that crazy if you think about it. Like,
The good thing they
people
won't.
like people like to say that Marvel doesn't have a plan or any direction. Like, they started. Oh, when did they say that? I think they started writing this in January. Like, they start a ways out. This wasn't like 3 months ago they started.
Hopefully this doesn't get like put like an issue gets delayed and then you know how
Well,
it kind of works.
like, the way Al Ewing says something when he spoke about this in an interview, and he said that everything's plotted. I don't know if he just means like, because when you do the dialogue in last, I'd assume. Like, I'm not 100% how the process is when they do like
Yeah.
what all of the new comics. But I would have thought like all the dialogue goes in last, which to me says all the issues are done. I don't think they're all done.
Yeah.
But if there is a delay, it's not going to be on a writing side.
Okay, I got you.
They've also got three different artists working on it.
Well,
So,
I mean, he does say right here, like you said, it is now fully plotted, but barring any alterations for the lettering drafts, entirely dialogued as well. So all the dialogue has been written as well.
yeah.
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 I don't know. That seems like they're ahead of the curve on that one, like in the sense of, ahead of schedule, because it always seems
They
like
said
dialogue
before
isn't
they've
always
got.
finished.
I said before they've got a few issues done,
Yeah.
like that are completely done, like with that and
That's
everything.
cool. Like that doesn't seem like anything will change, like or any delay. I mean,
I'm not expecting any delays, to be honest. No, there's so many people working. I don't think it could get delayed.
yeah.
Unless they drastically change something, which I don't think they would be if everything's all done.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. It looks good. Like, the only sad part is we're getting rid of the Uncanny in US Avengers.
Nice, I get you.
I like those runs.
Yeah.
But moving on to the last bit of news. It's only a small bit of news. It's only tiny.
It's
tiny.
nothing big. Nothing.
It's just like 5 minutes of that. But a little indie writer. He's a bit up and coming. I think it's Bendis.
Is his first name Brian? Does he have a middle name? Is it just Brian Bendis?
I don't know. Could be, I don't know. He signed a multi-exclusive year deal with DC.
Multi. He said multi twice. I was like, wait.
Well, no, they say multi. They say like multifaceted and multi.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For you, which no one's talking about the multifaceted part.
Multiverse.
Because multifaceted could mean anything. Like, is he going to be working on the movies?
Multiverse.
Is he going to be working on the TV shows?
Ooh, I doubt that, but I mean.
Well, it's just multifaceted. Why not?
It's true.
He does stuff with the Marvel TV shows, or he did. He's still doing it now, technically. He was the big figurehead in the creative committee for the Marvel Cinematic Universe when that thing was around.
It's just crazy, man, that he's with DC right now.
It's insane. It's probably the biggest news you'll ever have in this generation of comics.
Sure, it's like, I mean, I don't like to do a lot of sports reference, but it's been a while. It's like LeBron going to Miami, which.
In fact, the only thing bigger than this would be Jeff Johns going to Marvel.
Oh my God! Can you imagine that?
The only thing bigger than this would be Jeff Johns.
Because it is like similar in that sense, right? Those two are that like powerful in their own.
Well, you think everyone owes what Marvel has been for the last 20 years to Bendis, or the last 17 years to Bendis. He made the Avengers what they are now. Admittedly, he made their event schedule what it is now. Think about what you like.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to note that Bendis, of course, took full advantage of the 280 characters on Twitter to think multiple tweets. It's like, man, this is way too much. I can't deal with this. Like, I just learned that we got 280. Why? Like, now there's like 6 or 10 tweets of Bendis just thanking people. I was like, this is too much. Too many words. Too many characters. But yeah, I mean, you made a joke about like what are some of the upcoming like DC titles that are gonna happen. I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, hold on, I need to pull these up. I was gonna say we have the next 3 years planned out DC events.
I would love for Hickman to come next, but that rumor has been going around for a while.
I was gonna say, here's the thing, like, whether you believe in these rumors or not,
but it's been a while.
Bendis was the sole reason Hickman got into mainstream comics.
Come on, Hickman.
He did kind of like put him up from Image into Marvel. So is Hickman that loyal to Bendis? He did tweet out that picture from that movie where the teacher gets fired and there's the kids stand on tables.
Dead Poet Society. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Yeah,
famous scene with Robin Williams in them. But if he is, Crisis Wars upcoming, or what would you call it?
Hold on.
Okay, I got it. You want me to?
You have Justice League Deconstruction.
Yeah.
Right? You have House of L.
That'd be a good one.
The Conspicuous Invasion. Or Conspicuous.
I think we had that one already, to be fair.
You have Besiegement. You have Justice League versus Doom Patrol, which you're kind of getting anyway with Milk Wars. Kind of.
Yeah.
Age of Brainiac.
That should be coming soon, I hope. Yeah. Brainiac needs one of those.
You got the Discreet War.
The Discreet War. Oh my God.
Battle of the Metas. And Crisis on Infinite Earths 2.
Yeah, I mean, wait, is there only, because there's been a bunch of Crisis, but there's never been.
I just named a Crisis that I could think of, and that's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, but I was thinking when Hickman comes, Crisis Wars.
Wasn't Crisis on Infinite Earths the first one?
Yeah, but that's like, there's a bit, that's what they always say, there's a bunch of Crisis, but Crisis on Infinite Earths was the very first one. The one a lot of people think that one's talking about it is, it's like in 2006, what was it? Infinite Crisis. Or, people think of that one.
That was Justice League, wasn't it? I said, like, Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, but a lot of people think Infinite Crisis when you think Crisis on Infinite Earths for some reason, but no, they're different. They're definitely different.
Was it Infinite Crisis or was it Infinity Crisis?
No, it's Infinite Crisis.
Because they were teasing one in Justice League.
Oh, the one in Justice League in the beginning was Infinity Crisis, which I don't think that'll have any bearings on more. That's just.
I think you. I think you'll get it.
I hope so, but I'm not gonna bank on it. But
also, Snyder teases that there's the next issue of Batman Dark Knight's Metal is going to hint. I think it was Metal. Is going to hint towards the 2018 event for DC, so be prepared for yearly events at DC. I'm going to call it now Batman. And Batman 2 the year after.
Yeah.
Written by Bendis.
When you said Discrete War, Conspicuous Invasion, what I thought of was just Identity Crisis, but that's just kind of like it was a whole different story to be honest.
Conspicuous War was Secret War.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just name wise, not actually story wise of like what they're gonna be and whatnot. But I mean, I'm down for it if like Bendis brings on like I don't necessarily know if there's been a Civil War for.
No, there hasn't. No.
DC, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't really think so. A lot of it has just been like kind of earth-shattering type stuff, and maybe like crises are always that large, so maybe a Civil War would be like nice. I don't know what you call it, but
I think they might be setting something up. Isn't Justice League doing like a Justice League versus the government storyline?
I mean, if Bendis does Justice League, that'd be an upgrade from what we had.
It's the thing, right?
What is he gonna write? Mitch?
There is no way in hell he's not writing Justice League.
That'd be great. It'd be he'd be the second, like, because it was Jeff Johns and him. Those are the two best Justice League writers ever. That's way too much saying it.
I mean, like, because let's be honest, like, no matter what you think of Bendis and what he's done at Marvel, like, he has kind of put the Avengers back on the map with everything. Okay. And DC clearly want Bendis to do what he did at Marvel with the Avengers for them with Justice League.
Yeah.
So if he's not on Justice League, I'll be fucking shocked.
Hot take right here. I think they got Bendis for the fact that Jeff isn't going to be that involved with the comics as much as he used to be, 100%. And he's going because he's doing more of the movies, and they need a guy like that because, like you said, the only someone on the same level would be Jeff Johns, and that's the reason why they got Bendis. Like, we need another guy like that. That's
exactly what I thought. I mean, yes, kind of. That's a bit of a red light. It's like, oh, he's not great with continuity. Yeah. But at the same time, there is a rumor out there that people are saying it's not great for Johns.
How's it not great for him? He's doing movies.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, it's like the rumor is it wasn't Johns who brought Bendis in because that would be bad for Johns. Because obviously it's just people trying to speculate on like why Bendis has done this, and you can speculate till the cows come home. Some people are saying he didn't get the editor-in-chief role at Marvel, so he jumped ship. Possibly, I can see that being the most likely. Because after all, what had Bendis left to do at Marvel? Nothing. He's done everything. You can't possibly do anything else. So he's not going to get the editor-in-chief role. Try number 2.
So, people make a lot of these theories in like so many other things, film, sports, and all that. But I remember like maybe I'm like paraphrasing it in a sense, but probably will be. But it was something like, if you're in gym class, right, and you're choosing sides, and the big kid is still there, why not grab him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? Like, why should it be because, the leader doesn't want to hang out anymore? Why can't you just get the big kid because you want to strengthen your team? Why does it have to be all this other nonsense of maybe the leader isn't a great leader, maybe this and that? It's like, no, you just want to make your team better, and he's able to make your team better. Why should it be anything else besides wanting to make a team better?
Yeah.
In that sense.
And also, like, people are freaking out, and I get why people are freaking out. Yeah. People don't want DC's continuity to be fucked. People don't like how Bendis writes characters that sound the same. Yeah. I get it, but who says those aren't traits of a writer who's bored?
Maybe he wanted new characters. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know how he's gonna write these DC characters. Like, I think he's only ever written like one DC story before, and it was a Batman. Look how good his Daredevil run was. Put that on Batman.
Oh yeah, somebody kept saying that like You like those Netflix shows that are doing right now? You know who helped those characters get started? Him. I was like,
I was gonna say, like, you look at the credits on the Daredevil show and Jessica Jones,
yeah,
you'll see his name. You'll see his name in Homecoming. You'll see his name in like the Phase 1 and 2 movies. You'll see his name on the animated shows. You'll see his name on literally fucking everything to do with Marvel.
yeah. I don't see why. I don't. Why not? If he's available, why not grab him? I don't see a big deal about it. Besides, like now it's gonna be like some crazy stuff is gonna happen soon. And I mean, but we're still saying that this is brought in because Jeff Johns isn't necessarily gonna have a lot of time, and that's great. Like he's doing movies. You have
just
Bendis for
pure
comics.
speculation, by the way.
Look,
I just want to make that's
yeah.
not factual. That's
Oh,
just
for sure.
That's just us.
But I mean, I don't see it as a bad thing, anyways. I feel like Jeff would be okay with it because he knows he probably friends with Bendis because they're two big guys in the comic industry.
It's the thing. They are friends. Like they are notoriously good friends. It just depends. Bendis isn't going to have gone to DC and have a step down. You don't move to a different company and have a step down. You want the same power, if not more. Yeah, is that going to clash with Jones? Is the question.
You don't bring in Leonardo DiCaprio unless you want him to be the lead.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if that's necessarily the right analogy, but it's close enough. I could think
he wasn't the lead in Django.
It's true. Yeah. So, but I was gonna make a sports reference, but I was like, no, I already made my one. I did my quota.
I was gonna say,
yeah, I did my quota, so I went to film, and I'm not as good as making references to film. But so, or I mean, you could have did. You don't get Steven Spielberg just to be a DP, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you want him to be the main director. So I don't know, something like that. It makes sense. I'm all for it. I'm excited to see what it has to offer. I hope he does something with the source wall, which not a lot of people do a lot of. They always reference it here and there, and I would love if he went all out for the source wall, like right there at the edge of the universe, basically.
But before we move on to the comics of the week, what books would you want Bendis to write?
I mean, of course, Justice League would be the main one. I'm trying to think of books he's done before, so let's talk about a street level character that would be down for it.
Here's the thing, right? He did Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. He did one of the best Daredevil runs. He made Jessica Jones. They're the big three, big prolific.
Yeah, I would love it if the next Crisis was because of something Blue Beetle did or something he has to save the thing. That'd be great. Because, Jeff Johns created, like, Ted Kord and the whole Blue Beetle thing had a thing to play in Infinite Crisis. Of course, the whole thing was that Ted Kord got shot by Maxwell Lord, and then the Beetle landed somewhere, and then Jaime got it. So I would love something like that, but not gonna, because that's kind of the Spider-Man-esque thingy. I'm just thinking of characters that need to be brought back, and I feel like he could do something with. Animal Man comes to mind.
Do you want to know who Bendis wants to write at DC?
Go ahead.
Plastic Man.
I'm down for it. Hell yeah, let's do Plastic Man. I love Plastic Man.
Man would be amazing.
Fun fact: Plastic Man was a robber, and then he became a plastic. Then he went to, like, if I remember correctly, in one of the origins, he was a criminal robbing places. Then he somehow ended up in the mountains and in with the Buddha people and then Buddhist people, and then somehow he got powers like that. So I'm all for it. Any one of those Weird Al characters, I'm down for it. Just because I want to see characters that haven't necessarily had the spotlight. Swamp Thing is going to get the spotlight, so it's like he doesn't need to do Swamp Thing.
There's one character I'm surprised you haven't said.
Who? Who cares?
Shazam.
I thought he was already going to have a book. That's why I didn't. Maybe it would be him.
But what if it is Bendis? Even though apparently there was only 12 hours between Bendis signing the deal and them announcing the deal. So I don't know how. I don't think he's even started writing anything yet.
That's my thing, because I thought Shazam was going to be a more like in the next couple months type, like coming out of Metal.
I think if it was coming out of Metal, you would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, which makes me sad still. But I'm down for Bendis to do Shazam.
The only problem with that is Bendis isn't great with magic.
That's why, also, I didn't say it.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, it's new character, new universe. Who's to say he's not gonna up his game with magic?
Look, man, Jason Aaron for Shazam. He's already did Thor.
No, no. Look, Marvel just lost its biggest gun. Let's not lose Jason Aaron.
Jason Aaron on Shazam would be
little,
great.
my little heart couldn't take that, but mainly because Jason Aaron is currently doing, I hope and I assume, the next Avengers run after No Surrender.
That's true. Yeah.
He's kind of tied up for a little bit.
Well, we'll
And
see.
I also imagine he's still doing Thor and he's building up to the big next Marvel event with the Celestials and all that. So.
We'll definitely see what's to come. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like, it's exciting times. Who would have thought in our lifetimes that we'd see something like this, or at least be like competent enough?
I never thought Bendis would leave. I thought he was either gonna
Retire
effectively own Marvel or
LeBron?
just retire Marvel. There was no way I thought he was gonna go DC.
I'm trying to think of there's no other in my lifetime I've ever.
I think the
seen
last
I can't remember.
this big was Claremont leaving Marvel.
Probably. I just can't remember that far.
Which was 20 years ago. Before you were born.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, I was born actually. I was 2 years old.
You were.
I was born in '95.
Left? Oh, when did Claremont?
I just can't remember that far. If it's anything under me being 10 years old, I can't remember. So if anything before 2005, I can't remember, to be honest.
To be fair, I wouldn't remember anyway, but I was definitely alive.
Yeah.
No.
So, great.
But yeah, let us know what you want or you would want Bendis to write. And I know that's literally asking just people are going, nothing, fuck Bendis.
Yeah,
It's worth a shot.
You know,
Prove me wrong.
I've seen this in other fields of some people just need a new environment to
Let's be honest. Like, people should be excited about this. You know, he's a great writer in the new toy box.
Yeah.
He's going to be excited to do some stuff. He's going to have brand new ideas, which should be good for DC. Like, I mean, they're doing well enough with Reboot as it is, but you know, Iron Man's going to need a new writer. Miles is going to get a new writer. This is going to be the first time Miles has had a change of writer since he's been made. The same with Jessica Jones. Defenders will get someone new. Like, it's and who they're going to be, we don't know. I just want to know who's writing Iron Man. That's all I kind of get about. The rest I can take on.
Jonathan Hickman, please come with Bendis. We'd like to see you in our office.
Please don't Hickman. Please don't. I mean, you can. I wouldn't mind seeing Hickman over at DC.
Crisis Wars.
I mean, he would just literally destroy the universe. So.
Well, Lex would probably have to make new universes,
Are you gonna get DC 3 and 2?
You're right. I don't know.
The hunt for Lex.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So, yeah.
Actually, who would be the equivalent of Fantastic Four in DC?
Who would be the equivalent? Who's the family? I feel stupid if I'm not saying it right straightforward. I don't know if they're the smartest person / the family. I mean, the family, of course, is the Bat family, but that's Batman creating universes. Nobody wants that because that's...
But they're not really a family. They're not really. There's only one related to each to them.
That's facts, but Batwoman's related, but yeah.
I mean, not necessarily the fact that they're a family. I mean, I'm talking about more who's the equivalent of the Fantastic Four for DC.
I think they're trying to make it with the Terrifics right now.
Oh no, I mean, who's as prolific is probably the best thing I should have said.
Maybe Flash family with Bart, Wally, Iris as a speedster and all of them, and Barry. But I feel stupid for not saying it straight up. It can't be any of the Justice League besides maybe Flash. It had to be probably Flash because he does have 2 kids eventually that are super that have that too and all that. So it could be something like that. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting question.
It could be Flash.
On top of saying what you'd want Bendis to write, who would you say is the equivalent of Fantastic Four?
Stupid for not knowing.
I mean, it's kind of a hard question. Is there even an equivalent of the Fantastic Four?
Maybe not. We might get it now. Yeah.
I think we stretched that on as long as we can.
For sure.
Bendis going to DC, only good things can happen. Unless you're a skeptic in a sense.
Going on.
But on to the comics of the week for November 8th. 2017. I almost said 2018. I almost pulled a Marvel there with No Surrender. Which I didn't mention earlier because they did the Hulk tease and it said coming March 2017. It's no, Tom, we are past that. But who's going first?
You are.
Am I going first?
Yeah, because Batman lost his last.
Ah, spoilers.
Spoilers.
My first one is Royals number 10, Fire from Heaven. It's the second to last issue. Actually, is Judgment Day the 12th issue, or is it 12 issues in
Gonna
Judgment
Google
Day?
that for you. Fact check. No, I
Duh,
mean, you can keep
duh.
talking. You don't have to wait for me.
I know, but once. Going from the last one, where Ewing blows the ship up, we go back a couple of minutes earlier. Which actually, that's a running theme in these books. I got to say. Go back literally a couple of minutes earlier. The progenitor explodes the ship, but just before he does that, Flint, with his little crystally arm that he's gotten from touching the Sky Spear, like encases them all in these weird crystal balls, and it's really strange. But of course, like doing that accelerates everything, so the crystal's now like up his face, and you can see his skull and all that. It's quite horrific,
So
actually.
what were you asking about Judgment Day?
Is Judgment Day the 12th issue, or is it 12 issues in Judgment Day?
It might be that, to be honest.
Like, is Royals ending on issue 12 and then Judgment Day, or is Judgment Day issue 12?
Okay, go ahead, keep going, because I'll keep looking.
But yeah. So the majority of the issue is kind of an introduction to, I can't remember the name of the fucking place they're on. I'm going to call it the World Mind, where it's literally just a giant computer. Everything in this thing is a giant computer, and each tiny little molecule is a supercomputer. That's how Maximus puts it. But you're introduced to these progenitors who are the progenitors of the Kree, and they they made everything like the Terrigen, the Kree, all that's come from these people, and it's not exactly gonna go well. The Royals do get fucked in this place, especially Crystal. She gets shot through the shin. They managed to bring one down at the end by combining Maximus and Swain's powers, and they just explode the head of one of these things. But killing that one alerts like the big fuck who's in the middle of the sun. That's at the center of this place.
I
Go ahead.
was gonna say no. There's a 12th issue.
Oh, so it is 12 in Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so killing this thing has alerted all the others, all these weird, crazy, modern Kirby-ish designs. They look proper fucking cool. Like floating heads, like mouths in the stomach. They're really cool. So yeah, they're gonna meet the God of the Gods in the next issue. And it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, of course, it's coming to an end. Like, I know people don't really care about the humans anymore, especially with that thing on TV. But it's a shame because it's good. But
All right.
yeah.
My next one, Detective Comics 968, which is gonna be the quote unquote finale of future Batman, but we all know he's coming back with the future Teen Titans to come fight Teen Titans.
This is
Super Sons.
It's Tim Drake Batman.
Yeah, he's been through some shit, and now he's like shooting guns, and he's not what's the word? He's not naive, or that's what he said Tim Drake is, and all that. So the cool thing about this one is that all the Bat families here. So there's all the Robins, Nightwing, Red Hood, Damian, Tim Drake is back, of course. But then you also have Clayface, you have Batwoman, you have Batwing, you have Azrael. So you have like 9, including Batman, 9 characters right there. That's the Bat family. I've always wanted to see the whole family. Like, I feel like we have, but like I just can't remember at the moment. But this is like, it's cool, and it might not last. Probably last another 4 issues, and then they're out, and they're gonna have something's gonna happen. But
Yeah.
it's cool because it's just Tim Drake and Tim Drake, kind of their ideologies going back and forth of the future one and the present one, where the present one hasn't been affected and he still believes in the same ideals that the future one used to and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. There's fighting that happens, and Tim Drake officially beats Batman, and he actually says how to beat Batman, which is to get Batman in a quick second emotional state where you say something emotional and he has to think about it for a second, and that's when you get at him. Bah. So I was like, okay, like,
Kind of goes hand in hand with something later on.
yeah. So yeah, it was a good issue. James Tinney always does good. I don't think they've necessarily. I mean, they already showed like spoiler and Stephanie Brown and all that, but they haven't necessarily too much resolved that, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens. But I think that was a good issue. I can't wait to see what happens next because I mean, kind of know what happens next. Is I think it's gonna like the future's gonna unfold the way it did already, where Batwoman's gonna do something that makes Tim Drake go crazy, or she dies, something like that, and future Batman is gonna come back with his squad and they're gonna fight everybody.
What if they kill Bruce?
Doubt it. He already died. I don't think he's gonna die again this soon. So, I mean,
When did he die last time?
he died in Endgame, which was what 2014, 2015.
Is that canon?
I'd assume so. Technically, he died. I mean, he died, but he came back to life. So
Yeah. I mean, everyone does once life, don't they?
technically, he also died, and then, but I think he was and Nightwing took over, or was it Azrael? I don't know. It's too much. But yeah, it was a good issue. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
My next one is Uncanny Avengers number 29. It's the second part of the Stars and Garters arc, but I don't actually have part 2 on the cover for some strange reason. But literally picking off seconds before the end of the last issue, where the Juggernaut just drops from the sky, and I feel kind of like you're reading it, you're like, why didn't I think of that before? Because Brother Voodoo cast a spell for the I can't even think what they call them. It's the Cytech or Cyterac. I don't know how you pronounce it, but like it's these little minions and they come and fix everything. And it's like, of course, the Juggernaut's gonna be there. He summoned everything involving this to here, and Juggernaut draws his power from the same thing. So it's like, why wouldn't he be there? And that's why he just falls in. He's in a plane after being beaten by Iceman in the Iceman issue, and just goes boop, drop. Zub does a really good job in this issue of establishing that he knows how to write action and like how to make everything really fucking tense. Because the majority issue is just them trying to take down Juggernaut, and like it's yes, you still have the character dynamics like Rogue's trying to formulate a plan for everyone, Quicksilver being Quicksilver, a little hothead because he's a speedster. He takes Synapse and he's like, oh, we can do it together, and like, you know, he knocks the helmet off Juggernaut because that's what you do, and then she shuts down brainwaves, so she's going to do that. But of course, he doesn't know that he has an extra helmet underneath the other one.
Ooh.
And then he just runs full speed at Synapse and effectively, he doesn't quite kill her. She's close, but like they beat him at the end by like these little minions of the thingy, the Krytarak, whatever it's called. Like they encase him in his armor. It's quite like horrific watching it. Yeah. But you then get the character interactions in the hospital, and he's like, I just like, why is Rogue the leader? I should be the leader. And I've been an Avenger the longest, and Wasp is like, I'm a founding member, you moron. It's like, how can you forget Wasp is a founding member? She's right next to you. Yeah, it ends off with Quicksilver wanting to take Wanda off the team because he's like, fuck everyone, and she's like, no, you need to calm the fuck down. And he has a little tear and runs up. Yeah. Just like, no, it's like, Quicksilver, you have to calm down, slow your roll. No. But no, it's like just the way like, you feel the impact with Juggernaut hitting Synapse. It's just like, ooh. And he clearly did it to like hurt Stegman because Stegman made Synapse. And it's just like, how dare you, Zub? Right. Yeah, really good issue. It's a shame it's going to get rolled into No Surrender, but
shame.
Like at least you know the action in No Surrender is going to be like top. So.
Yeah. All right. My next one, I got Mr. Miracle, number 4.
Oh, I love Mr. Miracle.
Which I just gotta say, I still have no idea what's going on.
But this issue was tense. It got really fucking tense.
It did, but I
just like, damn, I feel really uncomfortable watching it. It's just like, oh.
Because like I think the more important, I mean, he also is wearing different Justice League character shirts every time, Batman and then the Green Lantern and stuff like that.
When does he wear Batman?
He wore Batman like a while ago, like issue 2, I think.
Oh, he did. I thought he made this issue. I know Green Lantern here.
I don't necessarily know if the whole like president thing was about like Trump or whatever, but kind of feels like every time they mention the president, it's probably Trump.
I say that's the problem nowadays. You can't mention the president. People going like, oh, just a dig at Trump.
Yeah, bro. I was just wondering. I was like, oh, that's an interesting thing. They're watching TV, and then Granny Goodness pops out saying something about God, but
But yeah, she's like, I've seen or it's the Orion quote from the last issue where he's like, I've seen the face. You know, like I drew God or whatever he says.
Can I just say the veggie tray is just great?
That was so good. I'm gonna get a veggie tray.
Yeah,
Just like
they
what? What's
went
a
to go
veggie
get it. Uh, he, and just like the couch scene was great, and like the Mr. Miracle poster in the back, which is kind of I think the original cover of
Yeah,
Mr.
it is.
Miracle.
Yeah.
But also a little bit confused because he says like he thinks Scott Free, which is also not really his name because that's what Granny Goodness would always say.
I was gonna say, like,
It's a
with
good thing.
all that stuff, was that
Don't know if it's
is that
canon.
is that new or is that actually taking on old stuff?
It's the comics too. I don't remember the original to be
Yeah.
honest. So it might be new. It might actually be old, and I wouldn't know. But it's a good. If it is new, that's a good thing. Of like
Yeah.
Scott Free. Like I didn't even realize that to be
I mean,
honest.
or you didn't know his name was Scott Free,
No, I knew that, but I
or you
didn't.
didn't realize what it was.
You're Scott Free. Like I just haven't heard that phrase in such a long time. Or I
I
feel
mean,
like I
it's
rarely hear that phrase ever. You
I
know?
mean, like, it's fitting of the time when it
Yeah,
was made. Like, oh, yeah,
yeah,
Scott
for
Free.
sure. But so he thinks he's an agent of Darkseid and all that, and he's trying to get to the bottom of this stuff like that. But Orion says like, if you're an agent of Darkseid, if you say true, it means false or something like. It just got me all confused. I was
Well,
like,
no, it's the it's a typical spy thing, isn't it? It's like, well, if you are a spy, you're not going to admit to being a spy because you're a spy.
yeah, which
That's
is
just what
like,
it's getting.
but it's
It's like, are you an agent of dark side? False. It's like, well, would an agent of dark side admit to being an agent of dark side? It's like, true. Or false, they wouldn't admit to it. Right.
I was confused on all that part.
It
But it's
was,
so tense of that.
they threw a lot at you there, and it's just kind of like each one just smack you in the face. But
Yeah, every time I kept reading it, I was like, something, question, true or false, true. So just question. I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? Oh my god, what's gonna happen? Oh my god, I just can't.
also,
Know.
I don't know. Like when he first starts doing that interview, the first question he answers, he says true, and then it does the little like glitch stack screen.
Yeah, I don't. Some
Is
people are.
is that when he says he's lying?
I
It
don't.
does that,
I can't.
or is
Maybe.
or is that like the anti-life equation theory being true?
Well,
And it's like when he admits to things that aren't right in the anti-life equation, it spazzes out.
some people are just thinking that this is kind of like him reliving something like this, or maybe thinking of it as he slit his wrist and he's dying, and he's gonna die at the end, and this is just like all like the last like what he thinks of his life or something like that.
I
Because you
mean,
know how
you've
they say
got
you see your whole life in front of your eyes as you're about to die or something like that. This is like his whole life, like his brother is, I'd say, significant other, um, and then everybody else around him. So and what he has to do in his job, like I don't know, it's just
I,
confusing but so good.
no,
But I
I think
think you're right. I think you're right.
no, because everyone before said like, oh, is he going to have like the anti-life equation like used on him, and that's why all this stuff's happening. And I think this kind of confirms that, or at least it recognized that's what everyone like. It was leading to what everyone thought, but it might not necessarily be true.
I think you're right in the sense that when he's lying, it's the glitching part.
Yeah, but it's like, is he the one with the anti-life equation, or is it like everyone else?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Either way, I just love when Orion grabs the veggie tray.
I'm gonna get a carrot.
It's so good. And I just like when he just got mad and started hitting her. I was just like, whoa. But
That's crazy.
Tom King is just great at kind of keeping you in the dark until you need to get out, and he keeps you entertained in the dark as well. He doesn't like just keep you there like, oh, well, nothing's happening, but it's so just still entertaining in that sense.
It's also, hats off to Mitch Gerard as well, because you get the sense of pacing and the feel of everything in just like the 9 panel layout.
Oh, for sure. The art
His art is perfect. Like,
great on it. There's certain moments when I don't like it and it just feels weird, but when it's like this issue, it looks perfect. It looks like it matches everything, the tone and whatnot. But like I think might have been issue 2 or 3, I don't remember. Might have been 2 when they leave through one of the boom tubes. It just looks so like a kid kind of drew it. But other than that, like his style just works perfectly for it. But I think
See, I've got no complaints about his eye. He's one of those where it's like he does no wrong.
there's only one part where I do, and it's just like that's just such a nitpick, and it's just maybe like one panel an issue, but it's just like weird why he draws it like that. But other than that, it's great. But
I mean, like I get it. Like when they're doing the boom tube stuff, they look really floaty.
yeah.
But I just kind of like, well, of course they're floaty. Like they're floating.
What do you think about like this will end the thing, but the panel of how it's shrinking into a circle with Barda and Miracle?
I love it. I just think it's very like, I don't know. It just reminds me of how like cartoons and the old shows used to wear.
Oh, I got you. It's
have
good.
that feel. And it's supposed to like, it's that close, small, intimate moment. 'Cause that's what that moment's supposed to be. So it's like obviously everything's closing in on just those two.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's a pretty great issue though. I'm so excited.
It's a fantastic series. I love it.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna end. Like I'm so excited to see how it ends. I don't think he'll disappoint, to be honest.
Oh no, I just can't see how he's gonna end it, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like he's building up so much hype with it because there's so much mystery and intrigue, and it's like, man, it's so good, but can he end it right? And I think he will. I think Tom King usually does.
He ended Vision right, so he will.
He did that one Swamp Thing and Batman one shot, and that ended perfectly. Like I thought that was perfect, and it's similar to this, where he's very fond of the three panel thing. Maybe it's the artist, but I feel because I don't know.
Oh no, I think that's 100% a combination of the two. They wanted to do the 9-panel layout.
Yeah, because
to be fair, I think it's not Kirby. No, it's Watchmen. I think.
Yeah. He's very fond of that, which is fine. Yeah.
I think it kind of like it's a unique style of telling stories in comics in 9-panel layout. And you don't
see it a lot.
I mean, sure, you never really saw it outside of Watchmen, but of course, recently they've been bringing, like, even Marvel have been started fucking doing 9-panel layouts. So just like, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. I say bring it back. Like, don't overdo it, but do it when it's right.
All right, just great issue, and that's pretty it.
Yeah. My last one is Moon Knight number 188. There's been that many Moon Knight issues. Now you've read this, haven't you?
I did. I love Moon Knight for this, of how just confused I can also get too.
Were you confused by this?
A little bit, because I haven't read Moon Knight in a while.
I mean, neither have I. But this is a completely new arc.
But it's like it's an origin type of thing, because they're starting all over in a way, right? Or no?
Well, they're not starting.
Well, no, but yeah, it's like Rebirth.
Because it's Mark Spector wasn't in this issue at all.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Which
I'm reading it. I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, he's gonna come back. He's gonna have to appear somewhere. And it's like, oh, he's in there for the primer pages at the back, and that's it. But yeah,
he is in there for the primer pages.
Yeah, that's literally. It's not even in the issue. It's the primer pages. It just made me laugh. I was like, oh, I wanted Moon Knight, but I got. I'm going to complain, because I think what they did was really fucking well. Like, the new guy, I can't remember his name. He's some like singer from a band. I don't know much.
Well, I think that's why I was confused. I was like, I forgot where Mark Spector went.
Well, I haven't finished Lemire's run. So
yeah, me either. So that's why I was like, so I was confused a little bit. But I still think the art is perfect. I think this art is perfect for that, and whatever reminds me,
really fits Moon Knight really fucking well.
To me, I don't remember who did it, but New 52 Animal Man, it reminds me of very similar styles. And I think those two characters fit off with this kind of art of how it's the colors are not too like out there.
It's a very simple line work with a very pastel-y palette.
Yeah.
Palette, that's a posh word. But I like the fact that the first 2 pages where they introduce you to he's a nameless one. They don't actually tell you his name, do they?
I don't think so. I need to go back. I'm checking.
But because I'm certain they call him the nameless one, because you know the Doctor's name because she worked with Mark Spector before. But they give you a quick rundown of his origin, and it's just like, does it remind you of someone? It's like Moon Knight. It's like, it's very nice. They effectively have the same origin. Like, he is like the typical, you watch a Marvel movie and it's like, Iron Man's got to fight a bad Iron Man, Black Panther's got to fight a bad Black Panther. It's going that route, but it's done it in a really fucking good way. Where it's like, oh, this guy, he was in the army and like the
Yeah,
pyromaniac stuff.
they say he's a nameless patient. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and like the doctors like trying to help him through. Like, what did she say? What he has?
Let me check again. There's like these little.
With the fire, didn't he? He's a pyromaniac.
Well, that and I think he killed somebody.
I mean, yeah, he killed a couple of people with the
Yeah,
troop,
yeah.
or his entire troop. And like, of course, that leads to the whole, the Egyptian mythology and like, how it connects to Ra and
Can,
Khonshu.
can I just say I did not expect the part of where she's dreaming and like
Oh, with the mummies and
yeah, I was like, what is that?
that was the panel where I was expecting Mark to come into it. I was like,
Same.
right, we're jumping back to Mark, and it's kind of like, oh no, it's him. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But like, he just does a really fucking good job of setting them up to be the literal opposite of Moon Knight. So Moon Knight is Khonshu. He's sorted out his like two personalities or three if you count Khonshu.
I think it's three.
Yeah, cause I think
there's a panel where they show all the three personalities behind this new guy.
No, it's four because you got Mark Spector, the other two, and then Khonshu. Because I say Khonshu.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Four. I forgot about that.
I think Lemire's run made Khonshu one of them. Whereas before it was just Khonshu. Now he's part of him. Now this guy's having the same exact deal with Ra because Ra is the sun god.
He even says right here, which is interesting to me, which I thought like you'd have a lot to say on it, where he says Khonshu is nothing next to me.
Well, that's because Khonshu came after Ra, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Ra.
That's what you think it is, right?
Well, that's exactly what it is.
Well, yeah, that's true. She
That's
does
kind
say
of what
Raw, but like, is it really Raw or is it someone who's trying to become Raw? I don't know.
Oh, what is he really Ra?
Yeah.
No, it's exactly how they played it with Moon Knight. Where it's like Moon Knight thought it was Khonshu, and then.
Oh, okay, that's what. Okay.
And of course, at the end, he ends up biting a nurse's face, like nose off. No, just like fuck.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. It's crazy.
And he's all restrained in the straitjacket, and it just how she survived getting like burnt alive. I don't know. I suppose we'll find out later on how she survived, because that seemed like a little talking point. But she now believes. Is that her final word? She believes, isn't it?
Damn.
She's like, I believe.
Yeah. That's just crazy. She's just like burnt alive. Like what?
It's disgusting. Like you got that one up. Spoilers, she's Thor.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's a very good issue. It's an interesting setup, and it's nice that it's not focusing on Spectre's mentality, like his mental state. It's doing something a bit more superheroic. And even though I was expecting a lot of Mark Spector in this for the legacy issue, it's nice that they've actually taken time to set up and introduce a brand new villain for an entire issue. I'm definitely going to keep up with this one this time, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Definitely, maybe. So.
Looks good. All right, last one.
Yes.
Batman Lost #1, which of course is just a one shot, so it's going to be a #1. I love let's just say it straight, the twist about it.
It explains so much.
I love the twist about it. I generally did not see that coming. The twist. Yeah. Of course, let's explain a little bit of them. The whole twist is the fact that the bat that Bruce sees that helps him become, or leads him to become Batman, was Barbados.
Or Barbados.
Or Barbados. I say Barbados. Seems easy.
Well, they say they put the H in it.
It's true.
In like the Victorian era. It's not Victorian era, but it's that sort of old-timey Bruce Wayne. Not Bruce Wayne, but it was Wayne.
But I do love... I just love this issue. But I do love how it starts, of how he's saying multiple stories and all that. And you could see like a lot of Easter eggs. I think
the entire issue's got tons of Easter eggs in it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But the whole thing is almost... It's like in front of you, but you don't see it until they tell you until the very end. And then you look back and you're like, "Oh my god, why didn't I see it? It was in front of me the whole time." It's like what a twist, it's M Night type of twist. I feel, but
Also, actually, no, that might be a stretch. Absolutely.
well, go ahead. No, you can.
I'll say if you look at the first panel where it's Bruce sitting on the chair and you can see the window, the bushes and the trees kind of look like a bat, but I'm not going to say that because it's too stretchy.
You might have stretched a
It's
little
like
bit on
you
that.
can kind of make a bat out of that.
That would have been great if it was, to be honest. I didn't think of that. I didn't expect for the little girl to go crazy on Bruce either, old Bruce, but
I didn't like that bit.
I did. It scared me.
And she did the jump on the ceiling thing, and I'm like, really? We didn't need this. That just kind of.
It probably was a little extra. You're right, but
it was. It was fun. It just took me out of it for a second.
It messed me up. I was like, "Whoa, what?" I love horror movies.
It was a typical like horror thing where it's like the little kid gets angry and starts swearing, and then it's on the ceiling hissing. It's just like, really?
I
didn't need that. Yeah.
I did enjoy that to an extent. But I love just saying different stories and stuff like that of Batman, of like different costumes in different eras, future, past, and all this and that. I thought it was just great to see like every aspect of it, and just right in front of your face, of course, that Barbados was always there. He was the one that led Bruce.
It's a really interesting take on an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, what do you believe? Was he always really there? Was he not? Like, and then of course Bruce is technically the unreliable narrator at one point, and then it's just like, well, who's actually telling the truth here?
See, that's just crazy to me. Like where he says, "The Bat, Bruce, I am the Bat." Like to me, it just blows my mind. That's just like I took out of. I just really like that twist because I don't know if anybody would have thought of a twist like that. Besides Scott Snyder, who's like lives Batman basically, he lives and breathes Batman.
One quick question though: the girl that's about to be sacrificed in one of the little timelines. Is that supposed to be Selena Kyle?
I thought so because it looked like her. It really made her look like the one we have now.
Is that the Selena Kyle of that era?
I think so, probably.
Just like...
that's what I initially thought because it just looked like Selena Kyle. Yeah. So I was like, all right, it's Selena. And plus it has the whole thing of how in Tom King's run they're getting married and they're in love, and it makes sense that Bruce wants to like save her, and like this one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I took it as, but they never mentioned like even allude to who she is, and it's just kind of like. Who's that?
To be honest, I thought we were gonna see a moment from the old. I think the very first Batman cover where he's like he's hanging off something and has a criminal in his arm or hand.
But he wears that suit, doesn't he?
Yeah, but we don't see that actual thing. I thought we were gonna see it for some reason.
Well, I mean, it might have been a nice touch, but just the suit and that was quite.
Yeah. But just other than that, like just Batman giving up is an aspect I don't know if I've ever really seen.
That really fucking shocked me.
Yeah.
That I had to stop and just think about what the fuck I just read.
He's prepared for everything. How does he give up?
But it alludes. Well, I say alludes. It plays well with what Tim Drake says. Where it's like go for an emotional point. No, he just went for the biggest emotional point.
I am the Bat.
Yeah. Like his whole life is a lie.
But see, because my initial theory was the fact that, of course, Batman went back in time and he was in his bat suit, and Barbados was just like a creature that had no form. It's kind of like maybe energy or whatever you want to say. And then it saw Batman and it became, it took the bat as its symbol because that was the first thing it saw or something that had power. So, and it wanted to have power. So, but if we're to believe the narrator, which is Barbados and Batman and Bruce, it was Barbados he was already the Bat, and he saw somebody that was Batman, and he followed him until he found him how he became it, and he's like, I'm just gonna be the one that makes him become Batman.
Yeah.
Which is a little,
and it also like just double downs on the fact that the Dark Knights, like the evil Batmen, are his fears.
Let me explain again.
Well, he says like I don't know.
Okay, I have the thing. They are the real you, Bruce. Yeah, I picked the ones I needed the darkest ones, and I brought them to the window.
Like they are him. Like they are his fears.
What he would become.
Yeah, like his fears of like each
I always explain. I mean, they explained it too, but and the might have been one Dark Knight's Metal one, but of how each of these Batmen are like from Punisher on the Netflix series, where they're that one day away, like they're that one bad day. This is
yeah, which is essentially like Batman's main fear.
Yeah, for having that one bad day.
Yeah, and saying, what if I had that one bad day?
What would
as
happen?
The Flash, as Blur, as X, as Y.
Which is why they said this is one bad week, because there's 7 of them. There's 7 of the Batman. So that's great. I still would have loved the aspect of what if each of them became like what each Justice League member feared the most, stuff like that. But I'm still cool with this one. I thought this was a pretty, like, the more it goes on, the more I'm liking it, to be honest.
I'll say it gets better as it goes on.
Definitely.
I think I'm not entirely sure, but I've heard some people being like it's not that great, and I'm like, really, I'm the opposite now.
I think it's pretty fun, and I think Scott Snyder's definitely a second half writer, which I take that from sports, where like you can be a second half type of player where you do better towards the end.
Yeah, he's a closer. He's not an opener.
Yeah. Which, some people are openers, some people are closers. That's just your strengths, and that's what you're good at. And as the Metal comes to a close in the second half, you could see like, this is makes sense. This is great, right? Like, oh my gosh, what? And I'm all for it, man. I'm definitely all for it. And now all the Justice League are pretty much done too. They all got beat up. Which it's setting up the day, because where does it say? It says, it says it in the ending. It says,
what, of this issue?
No, it was, where did I read it? Actually, it might have been in the Hal Jordan tie-in. But it says like for these heroes to save the day, which is gonna be like Detective Chimp, Cyborg, Raven, Flash. I think I remember them. So it's gonna be like a weird ragtag group of heroes saving the day.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like the focus on the normal one.
I'm all for it, because aren't we always tired of the regular? Don't we want fresh stuff?
Exactly.
And
like give me something different. Give the little guys a chance.
Detective Chimp saving the day. That's great. What?
But he's dead. How is he alive?
He's too powerful for them, Mitch. That's what we all gotta know. He is the one. He is like the source wall or something. I don't know. It's just crazy, but yeah, man. I didn't expect this one to be as great as it was. I thought it was gonna be good.
No, this really took me by surprise.
I thought it was gonna be so different. I thought it was just gonna be Batman wandering or something. I don't know why.
I didn't know what to expect when they announced Batman Lost, but I like the fact that they tied it into like how we got into that tower and like, why he's there.
It always feels like that's kind of a superhero's nightmare of being able to see the bad things happen, but not being able to stop them or do anything about it. And that's Bruce is just like stuck. He can see it happening, but he can't do anything.
Yeah,
that always.
And it makes it even more like the Matrix now, because they're in their own little reality.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Man, like,
is he gonna put like glasses on and like split into multiple people?
You know what? As time goes on, though, it makes me think that the Man Who Laughs probably won't.
No, I don't think he's gonna be
I don't think he'll like what's the word for it? Like upend, I think is the word for it.
Undermine.
So those type of words where he's gonna take over and kind of Barbados is gonna die, or the Man Who Laughs is gonna lead him to his death.
I don't see that happening anymore.
Not
with he's too big. Just like that.
It definitely seems like it's just Barbados, like it's his whole master plan, it's his whole thing. Like that's his, like it's Megatron, Starscream. Starscream won't take over Megatron. Or I don't know. In some comics, maybe he does. I don't remember all that much.
Well, I mean, Starscream does. That's the entire point.
But does he ever hate Megatron?
He always hates Megatron.
Man, I haven't seen Transformers in such a long time. I guess discount all that. Discount my Transformers knowledge, because I just haven't read or seen anything about it in such a long time, and I just feel like I'm out of that world. Because
I'm certain at one point Starscream takes over.
Probably.
And it's more when Megatron dies and then comes back as Galvatron. I think that's when he takes over. Yeah. I'm not 100%. I can't remember. I'm not a Transformers guy.
I'm half a Transformers guy, but I'm now not, because it's been a long time since I've.
Which part's in disguise?
Oh my god.
The bottom half.
For sure, I feel like that's somewhere, but I don't know. So that's such a cheesy joke. But yeah, I think that's
really good issue. Really enjoyed it.
Great issue. I just think there's that one panel of old Bruce and young Bruce, and Barbados is young Bruce in the window, and in the bat, it's like that's just great. So yeah,
What would you say he was young? Oh, I suppose he was young Bruce, wasn't he? Yeah.
yeah, it looked like he was supposed to be young Bruce.
He just looked really evil because of the shadows, like the heavy eyes and the
That's how you know they're
cheekbones.
evil.
Just like Christ, how stereotypical.
Yeah.
Who drew this? Was it Capullo? It wasn't, was it?
I'm gonna go to the beginning. Let me check. I have it up in front of me. I'm just super. All my hype is directed towards Doomsday Clock, to be honest. So the
Yeah,
writers were
which
Scott.
starts this month.
Yeah, the 22nd. So there's that. Writers Scott Snyder, James Tinney, and Joshua Williamson. So it's Batman Detect. No, it's Batman Detective Comics and The Flash. Artists. Who did
No,
like?
he's only got a special thanks.
Oh yeah, who? So when we talk about like artists, are we talking about penciling?
Well, I mean, it's yeah. Pencilings are different to your inkers. Your inkers are different to your colorists. You know.
Yeah, but who's like? Because there's so many people who worked on this, so that's why it's hard for me to like.
I know. Normally, when someone talks about the art, they're referring to like the pencilers.
Yeah, because like when we're thinking Rockefeller, is he the penciler?
Rockefeller paints everything he does. He doesn't
Okay.
have an inker or a colorist. He does
Maybe
what he does.
maybe most of these big artists do their own thing too.
I mean,
Um,
like, some art or some artists live or die by their inkers. Um, I think Koipel might be one
I'm
of
gonna
them,
look up on the DC
or the
website who it has as the
Spider-Man
artist.
guy. Well, I mean, it's all right there in the first
Well,
page.
yeah, I know it's all right there in the beginning, but like I'm gonna see who like they highlight. You know what I mean? You can always they always
All right,
highlight
yeah.
someone.
Who's the headline one? Yeah.
Oh, so it says art by Bengal and Oliver Copel.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
let's
was gonna
see.
say.
So where was he on here? So it says cover for some reason on the actual comic, but
Well, yeah, because like cover artists are one thing, interiors is another.
so Oliver Copel, we're gonna say that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We went pretty long time. I probably won't edit this, but
So how long? I think it's over an hour, right?
hour 20, and I probably won't edit it because this will be the only time we're going out over an hour. One last time for one last ride, Mitch.
No, because we were talking before. It's not an hour 20 short.
No. Yeah. We went on for about. I mean, we're still recording now. We went about 20 minutes on the Bendis thing.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'll keep it all in. I don't feel like I'll let the people hear all our thoughts. And if you're still listening, we appreciate you. So you say first than me.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
It's been so long, I can't remember.
Ah,
Until next time.
toodles.